Hey YouTubers, it's your buddy Platt, and today I'm trying a beer from Bulgaria. As you know, recently I've been trying some beers from all over the globe, and I happened to find this one out of Bulgaria. It's the name of the brewery is Zagorka, and they have three beers. They do a dark, which is flavored with berries, a light flavored with grapes, and this is their lager. Comes in at 5.0 ABV. The brewery itself was started in 1902, and it's currently owned and managed by Heineken. So that's the story of the beer. Let's give her a shot. Alright, pour a nice little whitish, light tannish head. Definitely pick up light hops, low malt on the nose. Let's give her a try. Very light malt on the tip of the tongue, a little sweet. Definitely has that classic kind of European lager skunk, almost stereotypical of anything that comes in the green bottle from Europe. But a lighter beer, fairly refreshing. Overall, not too bad. Again, kind of stereotypical of European style lagers with a little bit of skunk to it. I would probably get slightly more maltiness than I would have a lot of those generic lagers, but the rest of it's alright. Carbonation's decent. I'm going to give her one more sip. Overall okay, nothing outstanding, but they all can be winners. But still a beer. Finish that. Well, today I want to talk to you about, we're in the heart of tailgating season, so there's going to be plenty of beers. You may have a keg at the game or a pony keg, one of the 1 gallon mini kegs, cases of beer, 6-packs, 24-ounce cans, all varieties of beer coming over and people bringing beers to your house, what have you. So I want to give a couple of pointers to properly storing beer and keeping your beer at peak condition. One of the first things, and probably the most obvious, is temperature. Even if you buy a beer from a store display out in room temperature, once you take it home and chill it, make sure you keep that temperature. Beer will still generally be fine even if you buy it off a, like I said, display. If you buy a 12-pack of Bud, let's say, and you bring it home, the beer's generally going to be fine because it's been pasteurized. But make sure that you bring it home and get it to a consistent temperature. Once you put it in that cooler, leave it in the cooler. And that also goes for post games. A lot of times people will bring beer over, throw it in the cooler. They're nice and ice cold, but by the time the games are over, you haven't put more ice in. It's kind of gotten lukewarm or just kind of cool. Be sure to keep a consistent temperature. If that beer or if that ice starts to melt, get it into a fridge. Get it somewhere where it's consistent. Second, and this beer is kind of a prime example of that, is light. One of the biggest enemies of beer is light. And so beers in clear bottles, like your Coronas, or a classic European lager in these green bottles, tend to skunk up if the beer itself is exposed to too much light. That's why a lot of home brewers you'll see, and a lot of the higher quality beers out there, your craft brews, tend to be in dark brown bottles because they keep light out and it keeps the beer from getting skunked up or having ill effects to the beer. Also, one of the great things that we have now that weren't around years ago is a lot of the beers now, especially your big companies like Bud and Miller Lite, will have dates on the bottles, so you keep track of how old the beer is. Generally, lighter beers, your lager style beers, tend to not last as long as some of your bigger beers, higher alcohol content. So even if you don't have an age on the beer, if it's an import or whatever, remember lagers generally have a shorter lifespan than your bigger beers. And last but not least, some beer tips. If you decide to bring one of these big craft brews, a barley wine, an IPA, something bottle conditioned, remember the term bottle conditioned means there's yeast in the bottle of that beer. So you don't want to leave it on its side or upside down or wherever. You want to make sure it's stored vertically because you want that yeast to settle. You don't want to be pouring yeast into your finished product. So those are just a few tips on storing beer, and hopefully it'll help your tailgate party a little bit. Well, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, feel free to leave comments below. And also feel free to subscribe. And if you got any questions, comments, or concern, you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.